Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. So for today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft our basic sleeve. I already have a video on how to draft your basic body. So for today is for the sleeve. So that's that. And the measurements you'll be needing include your round sleeve, your sleeve length, your cap height, bicep, and armhole. So what I'll do first is, you can see I folded the paper. The paper is on fold. That our pattern paper is on fold. You can see it. So what I'll do is to draw a border line. So this is our starting line. So the next I'm going to the cap height. The cap height I'm using it. Okay, how to calculate your cap height is your bust divide by 12 plus 0.5, and the bust I'm using is 36. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 3 plus 0.5 is 3.5. So that's my cap height, 3.5. Then the next is the sleeve length. Depending on how you want your sleeve to be, whether long, short, or 3/4. For this tutorial, the sleeve length I'll be using 11 inch. Then for the hemming allowance, I'm going to use 1 inch for that. I'm also trying to mark it here so that I'll get a straight line. Then I'll use my ruler to connect the dots. So the next is I'm going to take my bicep measurement. The bicep I'm using is 15, and you know our paper is on fold, so 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm going to note it on where I have my cap height. That's the line, 7.5. 7.5. You can decide to add 0.25 for ease allowance, or 0.5 for ease allowance. So I'll just be adding 0.25 for ease allowance. So the next is to draw a straight line to connect this to the border. That's to where I have my starting line here. So I'm going to connect this. And what I'll do is to take the midpoint of this line I drew. What I'm having here is 8.5. 8.5. So the midpoint of 8.5 is 4.25. 4.25. So I'll come up by 0.5. 0.5. So I'll draw a straight line to connect where I came up to this place. And then I'll use my French curve to connect from here to here. I'm going to connect it using a curve. So this one I drew it for the back sleeve. It's for the back sleeve. To get our front sleeve, what I'll do is, using my French curve, I'll try to draw a curve from here to this dot where I marked out my midpoint. So after marking this one out, I'm going to flip the French curve to the other side, and then also use a curve to connect from here to here. So that's that. You can see we have the, for the back we use this, for the front we are going to use this. So the next thing to do to be on the safer side, after drawing out your curve, you have to check to see if the curve, as in if the curve will give you the measurement you took for the armhole. That's the armhole circumference, and the armhole circumference I'm using, it's 19. You know 19, and our paper is on fold, so 19 divided by 2 is going to give us 9.5. You can see what we have here, it's 9, it's not up to 9.5. So what you have to do is just to add 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch. You see what we have at the curve, it's 9, it's not up to 9.5. So just go ahead and add 0.5. 0.5. Of course, you know why we added this 0.5, but when you measure and the curves gives you what the armhole is, like let's say I measured and it was 9.5, I'm not going to add this extra. But if it's not up to, try and add up, try and add up. So that's that. So the next is to the round sleeve. The round sleeve is 11 inches. So since it's on fold, I'm going to divide it by 2. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So I marked 5.5. So the next thing is to draw, connect this to this, connect this to this. So that is that. And I'm not adding I didn't add the seam allowance. So when cutting out on your fabric, try as much as possible, do not forget, please make sure you add your seam allowance when drafting it out on your fabric. So that's that. So you see where I drew this line from. So this is the hemming allowance. So you don't have to start to cut, like, you know, start cutting here. If you want to cut, it is either you slant here, you slant it, or you fold it. Do not just cut straight, because when you cut, like when you mark the round sleeve here and you cut straight, it is not going to align. When you eventually fold it, it is not going to align. So that's that. So what you have to do is, let me cut out this excess. We all know that this is the hemming allowance. So if you want to cut, make sure you fold here, you fold it inside, since when sewing here will be folded inside. Let me quickly fold it. So as you can see, I've folded it. So I'll go ahead and cut. And when cutting, make sure you cut for the back first before you cut for the front. Then you open it up. So you can see what I explained earlier. You see, had it been I went ahead to cut it like straight after marking the 5.5 here, you see, it's not, when we eventually fold, it's not going to align. So you see, I hope you understand what I was trying to explain earlier. So that's that. So this is for the back pattern. So for the, we're going to cut our front sleeve. So that's that. You can see it. This is for the front sleeve and this is for the back. I hope you understand. Please, if you have any question, let me know on the comment section. I'll be glad to answer your question. So let me just, this is for the front and this is for the back. And please, if you are yet to subscribe, click on the subscribe button and also hit on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I make a new upload. So till I come your way next time, do have a lovely day.